Well, we've got about 1 week left in July, and then bam, it's August and it is go time. Um, Probably for a lot of you, it has been go time for a while, especially with the release of the return to school. So, I've been working on the personalized self-paced learning curriculum for my Unit 1, and I hope to share that with you in the next episode or two, at least where I'm at so far. And today, though, we are going to talk about the environment in which we work. This is Nicole with Dear Teacher Instructional Coaching. You might be working at home. You might be working at school. You might be working in both places, but on different days of the week. We're kind of at like this weird point where things are still a little funky. A lot of people have been given their classroom room assignments, but we all are anticipating, at least in North Dakota, we are anticipating another wave of really bad illness when flu season hits. And so I'm not going to dismantle the area that I have created for my office space. If you've been with me for a while, you've noticed my backdrop has definitely changed. We did some reorganizing in our house and repurposing of some of our rooms, and we are no longer sharing an office space. We are super lucky that we were able to figure out a way that we can each have our own separate office spaces. But with that, I'm not going to dismantle the area that I'm in because I firmly believe I will continue to use it throughout the school year. And then I was a traveling teacher. I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but I was a traveling teacher this past year. So this is my first year in the district that I'm in, and it is very large. So there's a lot of classroom sharing just because we have so many students that a lot of classrooms need to be used every period of the day. So I would travel to 3 different classrooms throughout the day. This upcoming year, I should have my own classroom back. And it was kind of funny because when I was first told that I was going to be a traveling teacher and I wouldn't have a classroom, I'm like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. But in the same breath, then I don't got to decorate the dang thing. Because I did like a full-blown remodel of my classroom at the district I was in prior. So I'm like, it looked beautiful. Like, do not get me wrong. It was gorgeous. It was perfect. But I was like, that was a lot of work. So, you know what? It's fine. Hands off. And now that I've been hands off for a year, I'm kind of ready to be hands on again. So I want to talk about like planning our space and our environment, both at home and like where we're going to be working at when we're at home and where we're going to be working at school in our classrooms. So we want to make sure, first and foremost, that it's a welcoming place. And here's the deal. I made my classroom cozy, comforting, and welcoming more for me than the students. Now, the students loved it. Do not get me wrong. And like they walked in, and I had a few students out at Central Cass who had said to me, like, when they walk into my room, they just feel calm. And I was like, that is exactly how I want you all to feel. Just be calm, okay? Middle school students are crazy, right? You want to be calm as much as you can. And so that was the vibe and the mood that I wanted to put out there, and I succeeded with that. But a lot of it had to do with that's how I wanted to feel. And I wanted to make it cozy and comfortable because I was at the school more than I'm at home. So I want it to feel like a second home because it literally is. So think about when you're how do you want to do your classroom space? How do you want to do your home office space? You want to think about the mood. What feeling do you want to have, and then that you want your students to also share with you when you walk into that classroom? I'm a huge believer in the sense of calm. I want things to feel relaxed and chill, and nobody's too hyped up about things. So I think about like the color schemes that I use, the decor that I use, the lighting. A lot of times I just had my string lights on. The lights I strung from the ceiling would be the only things that were on. I can't stand fluorescent lighting, which is in, all of the schools. So since I can't stand it, I only turn them halfway on. I would get migraines if I had them, like all of them on. So I only like halfway would turn on my fluorescent lighting. Color, I actually repainted my classroom and did a blue-based white. So there was this like blue hue to it, but it brightened up the room without being like overwhelming. And then I did a faux wood wall. That was like where my smartboard was mounted, so that was like the focal point of the room, and it was super cool. And so I kept things pretty mellow, pretty chill with my lighting, decor, those kinds of things. It all was very in the blue, green, brown tones, pretty earthy feeling. And so mood, what's your mood? Now, if you're opposite that and you're like, I want people to be excited and like energized and those kinds of things, the other English teacher that was on my team, she had, so I repainted, and then a lot of people ended up painting, which was really cool, because we wanted to do a little remodel, and we kind of just took it into our own hands. She painted one of her walls like this color teal. Like, it was bright and vibrant, and she had pinks and purples and teals kind of as her like big colors. And so like you walked in and it was bright in there, and it was happy, but it wasn't like overwhelming. It wasn't like 8 million colors going on. She had it was bright, it was fun, it seemed like it'd be an energetic classroom, and that's what she like was hoping to give like to herself, was that like uplifting energy kind of feel, and was hoping to give that to her students. And it's kind of funny because I was the opposite, and I was like, everybody chill out. And she's like, no, let's get amped up. And I'm like, everybody chill out. So it depends on who you are. And that's what's like kind of cool about creating that classroom decor for yourself. So what mood do you want yourself to be in? Because it's going to affect you. And therefore, what mood do you want your students to be in? And that's how you're going to center your colors and your decor and your lighting. Now, that being said, second big thing. When it comes to decor, you gotta keep it simple. I don't care if you're in elementary school, middle school, or even high school. You think those high schoolers don't get distracted by stuff on the walls? You bet they do. Okay? You need to keep the clutter and the excitement on the walls and those kinds of things down to a minimum. And that's why I had that faux wood wall, but that was the only thing that was up there. I had one quote on a side wall. I had a huge bulletin board on this side that I kept the same all year because I'm not artistic and I hate bulletin boards. And I had two small prints, and then back behind me would have been the whiteboard, another huge whiteboard. And it was really simple. I didn't want, and here's the other thing too. So when we did like state testing, they're like, you have to cover up anything like that is educational on your walls. And I looked around and I was like, I don't have anything educational hanging up on my walls. Like, did I have anchor charts and those kinds of things? Yeah, like that was, but those were like clipped on the board and I just, took those down. But I was like, as far as like posters all over on the wall, no. That's not that's not calming, that's not peaceful, that's distracting, and I don't want that for my students. So I really, really encourage you, even if you're using like bright, fun colors, to still keep the jazz on the decor and the stuff on your walls. Try to keep it a little bit more simple so it doesn't become distracting for your students. I actually, one moment please. I'm impressed I have this book down here with me. It's usually upstairs. But Teach Like Finland, still working on it. I'm reading 2 books at the same time now. That was maybe foolish, but reading Teach Like Finland, and he talks about connecting with nature in there. And I mean, up in North Dakota, we don't have that many awesome days to go be outside during the school year at least. So I was thinking about how can I bring like nature inside, and I am going to be getting some plants and greenery. I know some people are like, oh, allergies. Like there's some evergreen plants and succulents, and those are they're not going to affect anybody. And if anything, I'm just going to have them by my desk, like if nothing else. Because I did have one teacher tell me, oh, I wouldn't bring in plants, the kids will destroy them. No, the kids are going to help me take care of them because I like kill every plant I've ever tried to take care of. So, they're going to have to help me with that. So I feel like giving the kids some ownership of taking care of the plants. We're probably going to name them because, of course, we would name our plants. I'll have them help me like take care of it, and when they have that ownership in them, I don't think they're going to wreck them. So I was thinking of just getting like a 2-tier stand and having a few plants on there, just to have a little bit of greenery and nature in the classroom. My hopeful classroom for this year will have a huge window, and for the past 5 years at my old district, I was trapped in a brick box. So I never got to see the light of day. It was really tough in the wintertime when I'd get to work in the dark and I'd go home in the dark. It was very challenging to not see light, natural light, all day. Had to be really intentional about like taking a lap so I could go look out a window. So if you're in a situation like that where you are trapped, you really got to do something to bring some nature. And so I recommend doing some like of those evergreen or ferns or succulents. Bring those in because they are pretty tough, first of all. And then kind of help give your students like, I don't know, maybe your advisory or your home base or your 6th period or whatever you pick. They can be the ones to help you take care of them, take care of those plants. And if you're worried about them wrecking them, then maybe just have them like behind you at your desk when every kids know that this is like a no kid zone. Like you don't go in this space. This is my personal stuff. You don't touch my personal stuff. And if you're looking for inspiration, so okay, mood, keep it simple, and then figure out a way to bring some nature into your classroom. If you're looking then for some inspiration, on Instagram, I follow a teacher whose handle is Teach Like You Mean It. And she has done like full, crazy, awesome remodels of I think she's been in 3 different classrooms, of all 3 different classrooms that she has been in. And she did like faux brick. You know like what fatheads are made out of? It's that same material. It's like a sticker almost on the wall so it's not like actual wallpaper, and it comes off pretty easily. Disclaimer, you do need 2 people to put it up. I thought I was gonna do it by myself, and my better half ended up helping me, and he was like, I have no idea how you thought you were gonna do this alone. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what I was thinking, why I thought I could do this alone, but thanks for your help. So you do need 2 people to help you put up things like that. You don't need it, but it's easier if you have 2 people to help you put it up. Because I went this way, like I went horizontally instead of going vertically. Like if I went vertically, that'd be easy to do alone, but I took the wood and went it horizontally instead, so that was more of a challenge because those rolls are so long. But I got my inspiration for that faux wood wall looking at Teach Like You Mean It, because she did the faux brick wall, and in one of her posts, like when she first did that classroom, she had posted the brand on there, and so I think it was Very Berry is what it's called. And so go on there and you can check out what they've got. So there's plenty of teachers who have really cool like room ideas. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. Like, absolutely not. When I did that remodel of my classroom, I used a stipend that I got for taking a class. So, I mean, I had that. It was money that technically in my mind I didn't have because I knew I was going to put it back into my classroom. So if you've done something like that, like I taught a STEM class this summer, so I'll have a little bit of extra money there. And so I'll probably buy that 2-tier shelving unit and maybe a couple plants with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be like my new thing that I buy. Otherwise, I have other decor that I'll use, and I want to keep things simple. And I do want to have blank areas on my walls because when we do research papers, yeah, I have my anchor charts up. Those are up, of course they are. So I do want to like leave room to play around with things as we do anchor charts and as we do those kinds of things throughout the year. So that's kind of with your classroom. Those same things apply when it comes to your office space. If I'm doing anything virtually, it's kind of nice that there's no distraction behind me, but these gray walls are kind of lame. Like, I'd like to do like a wallpaper thing back here, but honestly, what's behind me is sort of a weird wall. It'd be cool to have books behind me, or I don't know. I'm brainstorming all kinds of ideas, but eventually this isn't going to be just a blank wall. There's going to be something behind me. I just don't know what it's going to be quite yet. So think about that in your workspaces, your home office, and at school. You know, whether you're interacting with students virtually or you're interacting with them face to face, what energy do you want to bring to that space? How are you going to bring that energy to that space with colors and with lighting and decorations? Even seating you could think about. Make sure you keep it simple. Try to bring some greenery and nature into your classroom, and hop on the social medias and try to find some inspiration. Dear teacher, you got it.